Hello Avila Advantage students, and welcome to week 2. This week you're going to read chapters 3 and 4, participate in a brief forum discussion relative to J.C. Penney's, and I put a link out there to Yahoo Finance and key statistics for J.C. Penney's to help you with your post this week. And then again, with these chapters this week in chapter 3, we begin by looking at the balance sheet, the income statement, the statement of cash flows. Some of this material should be familiar to you if you've taken an accounting course, that is for both chapters 3 and 4. Chapter 4 we deal with the financial ratios, but getting back to chapter 3, first the balance sheet is just kind of a snapshot of where we stand at a point of time. It's simply your assets equaling your liabilities and owner's equity. And again, there's many different things that comprise the assets and the liabilities, but from a accounting perspective, the book value is much different than the market value, and that's something we'll examine later in the course, because the market value should be much higher than the book value. The market value is if you owned all the shares outstanding out there and could sell in the market at the current market price, and that's what we're going to use a little bit later in the course when we calculate the investor's opportunity cost. But another thing you look at this chapter is the income statement. The income statement kind of shows the profitability, if you will, for a period of time. Think back to economics, and simply your price times your quantity of whatever you're selling. That's your overall revenues. Some of the biggest corporations in the world include Exxon and Walmart, amount of sales. And in the basic formula, they take into consideration their cost, and after their cost is what they have profit. Now, we get into a little bit more detail to a net income statement because we allow for depreciation and interest expense to help us lower our tax liability. But it's kind of that net income, what I like to call the soup that's left over, that investors, well, not the investors, but the corporation can decide to pay out in the form of a dividend or keep as retained earnings. So also the statement of cash flows, if you want to make sure to look at that, they show that on page, in the textbook. I believe they kind of look at it in terms of page 54. I'd have to check that. But anyway, we at the beginning, we had 1421 for Home Depot, and they end up with 545. So the statement of cash flows, it looks at all these changes in cash flows, whether it would be from operations, your investments, or financing. So, kind of track and see how that changes over that period of a year for the Home Depot example. Now, in chapter 4, you're going to go through the financial ratios. With the financial ratios, they give a nice snapshot on page 127. You look at that, and kind of gives the overview of everything. But there's 5 different types of financial ratios that they kind of try to measure. One is liquidity. How much cash do we have access to in case of emergencies? How easily can we pay our bills? You ask the question of managers generating adequate profits. We also ask the question, is the firm financing its assets correctly? Do they have profitability ratios, and are they creating shareholder value? So these are some of the things that you're going to be looking at this week when you're reading chapters 3 and 4. Again, I put a homework template out there for you for chapters 3 and 4. Use that template and try to put the formulas into the boxes that I've highlighted. And again, if you have questions, email me, and I'll try to get back to you that day or the following day at the latest. But again, with the homework, I'm looking more for quality and effort in your responses, not necessarily that it's always correct, but that you're doing the best job you can. So, well, that's it for this week. Do email me if you have any questions, but I'll be talking to you online. But make sure to jump in that forum discussion by Thursday. And you don't have to wait till Sunday to make your second post. You can get that done that same day if somebody's already posted. So that'll give you time to focus on other things on the weekend too. So have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.